what emotional intelligence is not is being overly emotional, right? A lot of guys confuse the term. They think when a woman says, I want a man that's emotionally intelligent, that means to be more vulnerable and to open up and express your emotions. That's not what it means. It means having more like having a better understanding of her emotional bullshit, because women are very emotional, but they have no emotional intelligence themselves, right? But they think they do because they're overly emotional creatures that are driven by emotions. Okay. So having emotional intelligence means understanding that her emotional reactions don't necessarily mean anything. Like she might say certain things, but that's not what you got to watch her actions, and just sort of understand where she's coming from. It's where like that really funny video about it's not about the nail, right? Like a woman has a nail in her head and she's talking about how she feels and how her head hurts and how she just feels a lot of tension and pain. And the guy's like, yeah, well, there's a clear solution to that. And she's like, look, it's not about solutions. Why are you always trying to fix things? Okay. Having emotional intelligence, it makes you understand that she doesn't want the problem fixed. She just wants to talk about how she's feeling. And so you go, okay. So your head hurts. Okay. Yeah, I can understand where that comes from. Yeah, that would be painful to me, right? Like having some just understanding where she's coming from. It makes no sense to men, but it doesn't have to make sense. Okay. So emotional intelligence really is the ability to recognize, understand, manage, and influence one's emotions and the emotions of others. So just having an understanding of why you're feeling a certain way, having a little bit of emotional regulation, right? And being able to articulate, in a rational way, how you might be feeling, right? And being able to understand where she's coming from. That's more of really what we're looking for here. And so having that ability to understand emotions, where other people are coming from, that actually strengthens your frame. Okay. So Rafe talks about improving your emotional intelligence by practicing things like empathy, learning how to have empathy. So empathy development, self-reflection. We talked about that a lot. Journaling is a great way to self-reflect. Meditation is a great way to self-reflect, right? And then just really trying to regulate those emotions. All that stuff improves emotional intelligence. So like, one of the ways of doing that, right, is just as you're feeling an emotion, just from the third party observer, look at it almost like take a step back from yourself. We have this ability in our heads to maybe take a step back and look at ourselves and analyze the feeling. Why am I feeling this way? Right? Why am I so tense right now? Right? All that kind of stuff helps improve your emotional intelligence. It helps you get clarity around why you're feeling the way you're feeling. And then we have observing emotional intelligence in leaders. So individuals with high emotional intelligence often maintain a strong frame in leadership and interpersonal dynamics. So, and when they do that, it inspires those around them. I'm going to give kudos to this. So my day job, I have my boss, Joe. Man, Joe's got excellent emotional intelligence. He's got excellent emotional regulation. That guy is just calm under pressure. He's a pleasure to work with, and it's because of that. I think he's really done a lot of work on that kind of stuff. All right. Then the last concept here we have integrating emotional regulation into daily routines. And this is the big thing, right? You can't just like read a book like this and then put it on the shelf and think you got it, right? Like you've got to do the practices in this. A great book in the space that I highly recommend everyone read is No More Mr. Nice Guy. There's all sorts of breakthrough exercises in that book, but most people just read the book and put it down, and they don't do the breakthrough exercises that actually gets them out of being a nice guy. So read these books, right? Read these books, all right? And then do the exercises that we talk about in the books, okay? So regular self-reflection, mindfulness practices enhances emotional regulation, reinforces a positive frame. So all that stuff over time, that repetition is really going to strengthen this up, right? You can't go to the gym one day and expect to be like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, it takes constant work. You have to constantly go back to the gym. You got to constantly add more plates. You got to constantly add that progressive failure, like all that kind of stuff, right? It has to become a routine. If you want to strengthen your mental frame, it's got to become a routine. So routine techniques, right? So incorporate deep breathing, journaling, relaxation exercises into daily life. This all helps maintain emotional balance. And then utilizing tools. There's mindfulness apps you can use. All right. There's courses you can take. Rafe the Towards, I think he's done several courses now for MLD, all on this kind of stuff. I think RP Thor has courses on this kind of stuff. Okay. And then support networks, right? Like the beer club. Get in the beer club. Great support network for stuff like this. So support networks are great. And then read these books. Read these books multiple times, okay? Ongoing learning. All that kind of stuff is going to help.
New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Subscribe now.